Hello, my friends. It's me, Chris Biffle, Coach B, with a brand new webcast on this October 27th, 2014. And it's an exciting night because we're bringing a bunch of stuff together. Instead of just planting flowers, we're going to make a beautiful whole brain teaching bouquet. And let me set up my screen, and then I'm just going to race forward. Setting up my screen, getting it ready for you. Here we go. Whole Brain Teaching Masterclass 2.0, Week 5, Teach OK, Program 585. Here's a book. Anybody ever looked at this book? Any experience with it? Anybody digging it? Whole Brain Teaching for Challenging Kids? Denise? I haven't seen your name online. If you've read it, go to Amazon and write us an incredible glowing review and let people know that it's useful for you. Denise, you're in Redlands? So am I right now. Melinda Sprinkles online, one of our favorite people. So we're wholebrainteaching.com, 130,000 registered members, 5 million views on YouTube, 10 million pages downloaded. We're one of the world's most popular education websites for a couple of reasons. One, we're fun, and two, we're free. Just like you, we dig free. So here are our friends, Biffy Bluebird and Smarty Wonderbeak. Hi, Coach. Hiya, Biffy. What if someone wants a copy of these slides or needs a professional development certificate? Well, Biffy, let's see if Smarty knows the answer.
Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Details are at the end of this program.
Thank you, Smarty.
You're welcome, Coach. Coach,
Yeah, Smarty.
we got a great show tonight, don't we, Coach?
Yeah, we do, don't we, Coach? Biffy, you're so right. Incredible show. Let's start with a little bit of history. Here's one of our friends, Big Dilly. Has anybody ever met Big Dilly? He's one of the mind giants. Asking my online audience what experience they have with our friend, Big Dilly. Mind Giants are free downloads at wholebrainteaching.com. If you use them, talk about them a little bit. Anyway, how'd the whole thing start? Well, I'm right there in that little dot. If you look closely, you'll see me waving at you. I started teaching in 1970 before all of you were born. And I lectured for 29 years. And I did discussion as a philosophy teacher. And I was a failure. I lectured, and I could not get my kids to pay attention. Not like I wanted them to. So what happened in 1999? Here's the story. One day I came in with wadded balls of paper. And I said, when it looks like you're paying attention, I'll throw a ball of paper in the right-hand corner. When it looks like you're not paying attention, I'll throw a ball of paper in the left-hand corner. If there are more balls of paper in the right than the left, 1 page less homework, or 1 page more homework. 29 years of failure and boom, 100% student engagement, just by flinging the balls of paper from one corner to another. That's how it started today. That's not how it started today, that's how it started in 1999. So, wadded balls of paper became the scoreboard, And then we hit YouTube with videos in about 2004. And then not much happened until we discovered the golden key. We were asking ourselves literally, what's the golden key? How can we help more teachers? We would give free seminars here in Yucaipa and Redlands, California, on improving test scores or increasing reading speed or building writing skills. We thought the problem was the stuff you read about in the paper. Oh, why would we think that? Why would we think the newspaper knew what the problem was in education? All the newspaper does is talk about the data. But what's behind the data? What's producing the smelly data? We discovered the golden key. The golden key is this. It's learning how to teach challenging kids. I'm going to stop right here, take off my glasses. This is a big point. Myself and my teaching colleagues, some of them in elementary school, I taught college, we're trying to help teachers. We were doing all the stuff with reading, writing, and math and state test scores that we read about in the paper. We offered a conference on teaching challenging kids. Kablooey. There's no newspaper headlines that say, challenging kids are still hijacking classrooms. If you're a teacher, you know what happens when the challenging kid is absent. Everything changes. Teachers by the hundreds tell us, I come into my classroom, I know my stuff, but nobody has given me any help with teaching challenging kids. A new name for challenging kids, which I like a lot better, I wish we'd had it a long time ago. Anybody ready to hear our new name for challenging kids? It's really, really much nicer. Who wants to hear it? The new name for challenging kids, beloved rascals. They are our beloved rascals. So I'll be using that term a little bit more. They're beloved rascals. We love them. All right, so as soon as we found cool ways to teach challenging kids and give that information away freely, our small town experiment exploded into worldwide education reform. There's a picture of me and the other co-founder of Whole Brain Teaching, Chris Rexted, and Andrea Schindler should be on there too. But we've had email communications from all those countries and more. If you're online, Nancy Stoltenberg will tell you right now what countries she's Skyping and helping around the world. So that's how it started. But here's our problem. Pay attention. Here's the problem. The problem now is that whole brain teaching has grown into a huge, wondrous system. Has so many parts. How do they all fit together? That's the problem. Here are 12 big, important parts of the whole brain teaching puzzle. Class yes, teach okay, hands and eyes, mirror words, magic mirrors, silent mirror, class boom, the scoreboard, super improvers, switch brainies, and student leaders. And most of those I'm going to mention tonight. But how do they fit together? That's the question. How do all the puzzle pieces fit together? Huh? Anybody excited out there in whole brain teaching land? Let's bring this online audience onto the screen. Anybody excited out there to see how all the pieces fit together? Oh, Liz from Elizabeth, me. Bree says, yeah. Please, says Annie Laurie. Woohoo. Andre Deshues, our 7th grade specialist, says yes. So excited. We're going to put the pieces together for you tonight. It's going to be like one of those smorgasbords that, you know, you you just go and you stuff yourself and somebody else did all the cooking? I'm cooking for everybody tonight. Here we go. This is what we want. Take a look at it. We want the pieces to fit together. So how do we make WBT a unified whole? Now that it's so big. What's the central unifying puzzle piece? Look carefully at your screen and see if you have any idea what the central unifying puzzle piece is in whole brain teaching. Who knows? I think some of my friends are getting a feeling like it might be Teach OK. Yes, it is Teach OK. And it's Teach OK that is going to be the magnetic whole that unifies all these pieces. Let's just jump right into it. So here's Teach OK pattern 1. The red box is the teacher, the magenta box is the student. The teacher says class, the students say yes. The teacher speaks briefly, and that's a key point. Don't talk too long. The longer you talk, the more kids you lose. I may say that again. So you speak briefly, you clap twice, teach. And the kids clap twice and say, okay, and they teach each other. That's pattern 1. My friends, fess up, who's guilty of talking too much? Online, what do you say? Are you guilty of talking too much? Let's see what the online audience has to say. Oh, Mike. D. Manuel says, not me anymore. Denise says, that would be me. Holton, Texas says she's guilty. Liz from Elizabeth says she's trying to fight it. And Blizzard says she is doing better. One room says she even loses herself sometimes. Bless your soul, my dear colleague. I've been there. Spent 29 years there. Okay? So check it out. Just remember, you've got disruptive, highly active kids, and here's the key word, kids. They're kids. You can talk them in a disruption. Think of your lecture talking as a watering can that's watering a garden of disruption. Here's our motto. We never tire of repeating it. The longer you talk, who knows how we finish that little motto? Who can finish it for me? The longer you talk, tell me about it. Oh, Gina Marie teaches 24, the more students you lose. That's exactly right. So who's to blame for disruptive activity? We are. Let me just take off my glasses and make a point here. This is a big point. Listen to me. It's not even in the lecture. I'm taking them off. I'm making a big three-dimensional point. You're at a crossroads. If you say the problem is the kids, you can't fix the kids. You're doomed to frustration. If you say the problem is how you're teaching the kids, you can change you. Don't blame it on the kids. Blame it on how you're teaching them. It'll make you a lot happier, and your spouse will be happier too. All right, now, here's a little template that you can use from tonight's webcast. And it just shows you, you start with class, and then you give your lesson. And part of every lesson for a while is just, when I clap twice and say teach, you clap twice and say okay. Teach your neighbor what I said. Be sure you use a full turn and big gestures. You just say that at every little piece. And my friends, if you're talking too long, Write out your lesson. Use this template until it just comes naturally. Now we're getting close to the big smorgasbord feast, so I know you're eager and excited. Here's an important point. When the kids are teaching each other, be sure both of them are using gestures. I'm teaching and I'm saying 1, 2, 3. You're listening, you're going, teacher, kid student, using gestures. That way you can see who's off task. And everybody's using their motor cortex and their visual cortex. Online audience, are you hip? Does it make sense to you to have all the kids using gestures? Because otherwise they'll space out easily and quickly. All right, keep your micro lessons short unless you're reviewing a series of micro lessons. That's the little bitty piece before the teach okay. If you have a bunch of little micro lessons and you have some points on the board, then you can talk a little bit longer. You're just reviewing the little bits that you've talked about. That's the only time we talk longer, is when we're summarizing all our short talks. I'll say it again. The only time we talk longer is when we're summarizing our short talks and the kids can see the points. Then you can talk a little bit longer. Now watch this. Here it is. I'm stopping right here. You know it's a big deal. Watch this. I'm putting it all together. Never done this before. I'm going to put it all together. Any drum rolls out there in my audience? It's going to be so easy, so simple. I'm putting it all together. Oh yeah, my online audience is going crazy with the drum roll. All right, here we go. Watch me now. We're going to fit all 12 of the WBT puzzle pieces together. Here are the 12 again. Class yes, teach okay, mirror words, magic mirror, silent mirror, class boom, the scoreboard, super improver, switch, brainy, student leaders, and hands and eyes. Fitting them all together in a nice, tasty smorgasbord. Here's teaching pattern 1. You start with class, you say mirror words, you give a short lesson, you clap twice and say teach, and you go back to the beginning. That's pattern 1. Everybody with me on pattern 1. You see how simple it is, round and round and round. Now, watch this. Watch it now. Pattern 2. Walk around the room checking comprehension. Say good gestures or please use gestures. Do not go to pattern 2 until you've got pattern 1 down. Let's make it simple. If you can do pattern 1, then walk around the room and you add one little piece with every new pattern. That's the key. One little piece. You don't have to juggle 10 balls at a time. Juggle a ball and then juggle 2 balls. Everybody see where this is going. So simple. Now, here's pattern 3. Watch me now. Pattern 3, you see up here? You teach the kids to use a high five switch. Kids take turns teaching each other, exchanging a high five and saying switch. Pattern 1, 4 steps. Pattern 2, comprehension check. Pattern 3, the kids are using the high five switch. Now you can go out of order if you want, but I'll give you some reasons for going in order before we get too far. Here's pattern 4. Now you've got a choice. Ho, 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 ho. You can say mirror words, or you can say hands and eyes. Now you've got a choice at pattern 4. You say hands and eyes, the kids echo hands and eyes and fold their hands and stare intently at you. Use this to announce an important point. Now, here's what some teachers are doing, and I like it. Some teachers are saying, you know what, my kids have the flu, I don't like this, so just have them go like that. See, they miss each other. It's even more fun to miss each other. We'll call that the high five swoosh. Just made it up. Nancy, will you please remember high five swoosh? Anybody digging high five swoosh? And they'd say swoosh. A.D. Lutz, good to see you online. We've missed you, my friend. All right, we're at pattern 5. Here's pattern 6. Add the scoreboard. You see, little by little. Your choices are right here. All you're doing is adding a choice. Everything else is the same. Right here, add a choice. You might say, Coach, what's the scoreboard? My friend, there's the scoreboard. See webcast 584 for details on the scoreboard. Pattern 6. Say class boom. You see when I add a new little piece to the pattern, I put it in blue. Here is class boom. I say class boom. And the kids say yes, boom. It's an automatic hand folder. So now you have 2 choices. Oh my goodness gracious. You can pick any of these 3, or you can pick those 2. Listen to me. How will you remember? Print out one of the patterns and do it all day long. It's right there. Look at the pattern. Just follow the steps. When you got it, ascend to a new pattern. Pretty soon, well, you'll see pretty soon. The flow chart is what it's all about for simplicity of bringing all the pieces together. Silent mirror. You see, I'm just covering these lickety-split tonight because it's so easy with the flow chart. Silent mirror. I say, silent mirror, They say silent mirror, and then they just mirror my gestures. Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, this is a fraction. Oh, this is an active verb. Silent mirror. They really got to look at you. Anybody using silent mirror? Online audience, using silent mirror. Now with the flowchart, you see it is going to be part of your arsenal. Here's what happens in whole brain teaching. You do this, and then you forget about it, and then you do this. And they say, well, what about this? Use the little flowcharts, the patterns. Put the pattern on your desk and use it all day long. Then the next pattern. Each pattern gives you an additional strategy. And they're right there in front of you. Ho, 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 ho. 3 more patterns. Magic mirror. People ask me, what is magic mirror? What is magic mirror? I'm going to tell you. I'll say, magic mirrors, ooh. And the kids will say, magic mirrors, ooh. And then I talk and they make up gestures. They love it. All of the directions for these are right on the pattern. You get the pattern, you look at the directions. When using magic mirror, you talk but don't make gestures. Your students repeat your words but invent their own gestures. Who's using magic mirrors? Blizzard says it's hard to use magic mirrors because you can't keep your hands still, and that's true. Two more patterns. This is a big one. Now, when the kids are teaching each other, you can dole out super improver stars. You can give out super improver stars whenever you want. You can change up the patterns. My friends, listen. I shouldn't say this like out in public, but there really are no whole brain teaching police. It's just a myth. We've spread the idea that there's whole brain teaching cops. There really aren't any. We never even had a budget for it. So check it out. You could make your own teaching pattern. You could. Make a flowchart and stick to it, stick to it, stick to it, and just add choices so that you're feeding kids from every dish of the feast. You don't get stuck in a rut. You see right in front of you what your options are. Are you understanding the importance of seeing all your options and not getting stuck in a rut? What do we mean by super improvers? Next week's webcast is on super improvers. Here's the super improver team for elementary. Here's super improvers tournament for middle school. More next week. Last one, use Brainies. When you're using Brainies, you're at the top of the ladder. You might think it's all over, but when you start using Brainies, you just come to the edge of a new infinity. Who's using Brainies out there? Who even knows what I'm talking about with Brainies? Where are my Brainy fans? So many people using Brainies. Go to wholebrainteaching.com and download them. The Brainies are gestures. Look at me. Here's my gesture for a capital letter. So, as I'm talking, I use a capital letter. Or, so as I'm talking, I use a capital letter because it helps my kids write. So these are fundamental gestures that are at the core of critical thinking, grammar, punctuation, and creativity. So that's the 10 levels. Here they are again. Now look at me. Pay attention. The first pattern is class yes, mirror words, and teach okay. Then add the walk around. Then add high five switch. And you can have an option of hands and eyes, option of the scoreboard, option of class boom, option of silent mirror, option of magic mirror, option of super improver stars, or option of Brainies. But what holds it all together? What holds it all together? The flowcharts. One chart at a time. Stare at it and do it. You teachers, Nancy, you're as experienced as anyone. Nancy, do you see that if you had that level 10 flowchart right there on your desk, you'd be able to feed the kids from all the different smorgasbord dishes? Nancy's talking a positive. All right, we're not done yet, my friends. You know we're never, you know it just gets more and more amazing. Now, 5 big new ideas. Who's ready for 5 big new ideas? I got 5 big new ones. This is program 585. Here we go, Roseanne. 5 big new ideas. And you're going to love this one. This one is going to knock you out. Listen, unless it's a safety issue, don't halt your lesson to address off-task behavior. Involve your class and teach okay, and then go to students who need individual help. Don't stop the train. Look at this flowchart. You say class, you say mirror words, you do the 2 to 4 sentence lesson, you clap twice and say teach. In here is where you're usually saying, take your shoelaces out of your mouth. No, down here, the kids are teaching each other. Down here, you address off-task students. This is huge. This is so huge. Listen to me. Glasses off. You do this all day long and it's wrong. And it's our fault because we never thought it up. You're teaching along, off-task behavior, you stop teaching, you address that. You get back to teaching, off-task behavior, you stop teaching, you address that. Finish your lesson. Clap twice and say teach. The kids are teaching each other, and then you can talk to the kid with the shoelaces in her mouth. Everyone doesn't need a shoelace lesson. So everyone else is teaching each other, the train never stopped, and you're teaching this kid about the shoelaces. Andre, do you see the power of addressing off-task behavior when everyone else is doing the teach okay? It also keeps that kid from having an audience, and it makes it less embarrassing. If you embarrass them, they might get crazy. March 12, do you see that? March 12, I bet if you're a teacher, you've been stopping your lesson over and over again. Do not stop the stinking lesson for 1 kid or 2 kids or 3 kids. Here's big idea number 2. Because of the simplicity of the new Teach OK patterns, you can use them to train. Who could you train with the new Teach OK patterns? I'm taking a drink. Who could you train with the new Teach OK patterns? Oh yeah, baby. Other students. There it is, student leaders. This pattern here, I believe, look at it, my friends. Look at this pattern 8. I think kids could master pattern 8 when they teach a class. Tell me grade level. Nancy, do you think in the 2nd grade you could get your kids eventually to master this pattern if you went step by step? Here's the deal with student leaders. Developing student leaders doesn't make any sense unless you've got something for the leaders to do. It's not student leadership to clean the erasers and hand out the paper. That isn't developing anybody's whole brain. That's the beauty, one of the beauties of whole brain teaching. It gives student leaders something to learn. 3rd grade says for sure, Addie says. Madeline loves the flowcharts. Thank you, Madeline. All right. Often kids will pay more attention to a popular student than their instructor. I've seen this. I've seen at conferences that when a teacher stands up to teach, they pay more attention to the teacher than they did to me. It gives a new focus to the kids, says Nancy, and she's so right. All right. You could even use the patterns. Who else could you train with these simple patterns? Who else could you train? You know, other teachers. So here's a pattern for a rookie teacher. Just give the teacher this pattern. Just say go round and round. Or you could teach your beloved rascals. All right, big new idea number 3. Now, each time you select a new technique, put it on the board and have students practice with you. For example, if you're starting class boom, when kids teach a neighbor, they say class boom and fold their hands. This gives them more reps in the new strategy and increases student leadership training, turning them into whole brain teachers to be. This is brand new. So let's say I'm doing class boom. I put it on the board. I say, teach. They say, okay. And they turn to their neighbor, and the one says, class, boom. And the two says, class, boom, and then the one teaches. So they use the technique with each other, which reinforces the technique, which builds the student leadership, which gives you more variety, which adds to the funtricity. Kids using one technique to teach their neighbor. Everybody. What do you think? Should you have kids practice a new technique with each other? D. Manuel says, cool reinforcement, I'm loving it. Holly Arvey says, awesome. Denise says, wow, I love it. And Karen B. loves it too. Here's big new idea number 4. To improve at whole brain teaching, and I mentioned this, simply put a copy of one of the 10 teaching patterns on your desk and use it all day. After mastering one pattern, ascend to the next. Please wear sunglasses. A brilliant glare reflects off the gates of teaching heaven. One pattern at a time, keep on climbing. Now some of you are saying, well, Coach, what happens if I get to level 10? Now to my last big new idea. Listen to me, this is huge. One of the biggest points I've made in all these webcasts. Listen, after the first few desperate years, many teachers stop growing because it isn't clear what teaching growth means. It's nebulous. How do I get better as an instructor? Growth as a teacher in WBT is clearly defined as ascending to a higher teaching pattern. That's what we mean by growth. If you can specify what we mean by growth, it might make growth easier. At pattern 10, take a deep, happy breath and get ready to climb higher. You might say, what's higher than using all that stuff, Coach? Listen to me, my friend. Here's pattern 10. You're using brainies. You got it all going on. Here you are. The more fluent you become in using brainies, our critical thinking sign language, the higher you'll soar in teaching stratosphere. There are an infinite number of ways to use the because brainy in instruction. With 35 brainies, that's infinity to the 35th power. In teaching heaven, there are no ceilings. Would you write that one down? Would you put that one on your mirror? In teaching heaven, there are no ceilings. Again and again, principals tell me, my year 1 teachers will listen, my year 2 teachers will kind of listen, and by year 3, they think they know it all. Teaching is an art form, and Rembrandt was improving until the day he died. And so was Picasso, and so was Nuria. It's an art form. Keep growing. How do we grow? Pattern, 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 and then get better and better at the brainies. How infinite are the brainies? How infinite is critical thinking? Here it is. The streets at teaching heaven are paved with golden brainies. Keep growing, keep moving up patterns, expand your brainy talk. That's the joy. Keep watering yourself to make yourself grow. So use a tally sheet. So here's your tally sheet. You've got pattern 1 down there, and you're going to try class yes with variety, and you're going to mention rule 1. Use the tally sheet. What about kids who don't go along? I hate to say it, but it's really simple. Huge point coming. Rehearse Teach OK 5 times a day, emphasizing the full turn and gestures as your kids instruct each other. After each rehearsal, pick 5 to 8 kids as a leadership team. No more than 2 rebels. Stand next to the weakest rebel. And give a short sample lesson, ending with teach okay. Observe the full turns and gestures. Praise any improvement by the leaders and rebels. No place for the rebels to hide. So you have some kids stand up, and then they're going to demonstrate the teach okay. And if all of them but 1 or 2 are energetic kids, the weakest rebel really stands out. And rebels like to hide. So here we are. Here's a summary of the master class. Week 1, webcast 581, attention getters. Week 2, webcast 582, 100% student engagement. Week 3, classroom rules. Week 4, the scoreboard, which was an amazing program because we turned it into a video game, and now 10 steps to teaching heaven. Where is this stuff, people want to know? Let me show you where it is. I'm here. I'm going to go to whole brain teaching. You're going to watch me go there. And all of the webcasts are right here. You see this little arrow? You can scroll through the webcasts. And remember I told you about the Brainies? Up here under free ebooks, general. That's where you'll find this stuff. So any questions or comments? We've got a few minutes tonight. Any questions or comments about the 10 patterns and how we're putting everything together? Jeff Battle's online. That's a thrill because he's an incredible whole brain teacher, one of the most experienced veterans. Always good to have Jeff Battle at your shoulder. All right, here's Ms. Linenthal. Hi, Ms. Linenthal.
Hi, Coach. Gosh, Teach OK sounds great, but how could I get professional development credit for this webcast and a copy of these slides?
Ms. Linenthal, I'm so glad you're asked.
Well, thank you, Coach.
How's that cough, Ms. Linenthal?
Listen, Coach, you don't hear me coughing, do you?
Well, no, I don't.
Well, it's okay, all right? Just tell me, how do I get professional development credit, a copy of these slides?
All right, Ms. Linenthal, here's what you do. You go to the PayPal button at wholebrainteaching.com and you put down $5.85. Right there. There's the PayPal button. And here's the deal, my friends. Have some of you noticed how our customer service has improved? Like right after the webcast, boom, you've got it like within 2 or 3 minutes. I'll stay online tonight a while. And if you want the slides tonight, I'll send them to you tonight. Anybody knows how fast I'm getting? What else do you get? What you get is you get a professional development certificate that you can fill out or draw on and describe what you learned tonight for professional development. Now, listen. I've been super busy, but I've got a little bit of time. If you want a whole brain teaching conference presentation on your campus, there's my email address. Get the principal to contact me. We'll figure out something. When I say we'll figure out something, I mean we'll figure out something. Your school is broke, busted. We'll figure out some Skypes or a phone call once a week. I'm doing phone calls now once a week, and I'm seeing this is a fantastic way. Here's the deal. Listen to me. Some of you are probably not familiar with this. But at Radio Shack, this is an advertisement, Radio Shack in California, they have these little machines. And I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's got some numbers on it, and if you know a person and you know their secret code, if you put in their secret code, you could talk to them even though they're not right there. What won't they think of next in California? So we could do phone conferencing, whatever it takes. Twist your principles on. There's my email address. My friends, next week, don't miss it. Super Improvers Universe. Ooh, I just can't wait to see the new stuff for Super Improvers. The new jazzy stuff that makes life simpler and more exciting and rewards for improvement, not ability. Super Improvers Universe next week coming, my friends. My dear, dear friends, put your email address on there if you want to talk to somebody else at your grade level. Go ahead. You can do it in your PJs. Say what your grade level is and talk to people. We're helping each other all across the country. Any questions or comments for your dear coach? Love to hear them. Questions or comments, my friend? I will be online tonight, and if you got a little change, I will be delighted to send you copies of the slides. Pay attention to the names in red. They know their stuff. A.D. Lutz is great. He owes me a classroom video. Jeff Battle is insanely wonderful. Andre Desch, he and I are going to give a conference in Alexandria, Louisiana in January. Kelly Avery is an up-and-comer. Take down these email and let the wisdom fly. All right, my friends, next week we will have Super Improvers Universe. It's again going to be one of those things where we bring a lot of stuff together that we never brought together. We do thank you for the prayers for my family. We are seeing light, and we include you in our prayers. We thank you so much. And that's the beauty of a webcast. We can talk about God. You may wonder, where's this stuff coming from? The people who started whole brain teaching, we're all as good at Christians as we can be. And God has blessed us with these new ideas and new directions and new ways of helping kids. Not just the United States, but across the world. So God bless us all. Let your locations roll down the screen. Where are you from? What grade level? Let's just have a rain of whole brain teaching enthusiasts. Okay, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Redlands, California, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dresden, Maine, Las Vegas, Parma, Ohio, Shiloh, Illinois, Evanston, Wyoming, Gulf Breeze, Florida, Virginia, 2nd grade. Wow. You inspire me. You inspire me and you worry me. You worry me that I'm not going to be able to give you something that's great every week. But so far, I'm feeling good. So it's power to the teachers, power to the kids. Coach B signing off. And I'll see you next week.